People, Dragon here. Listen, I was in the middle of doing something, but quite busy actually, so I'm all kind of tattered. But I had to stop because the spirit. There goes that thing we're going to talk about. That thing that's supposed to drive me crazy, or I'm supposed to be crazy because I believe in it, or I speak to angels or whatever, and I'm hearing voices and all of this stuff, you know. And I want to tell you something. That's all true. Okay. And if it seems crazy to you, some understand. But if it seems crazy to some of you, because you want it to be, you want it to be crazy, you want it to not make sense, you want me to not be talking truth, you want me to be out of my mind, you know, or whatever, just loony or something, because your mind, those that say these things about me or other people like me, uh, your mind refuses to see and refuses to believe and refuses to look at it. Refuses. Your mind does. Okay. And when you put your belief behind that, there's no convincing you. It's like beating a dead horse. It's not going to get up. It's just not going to get up. And that's a shame because there's a lot of you that have a lot of power, and you're working things out of the carnal sense with no spiritual help. And you're wondering, why can't I succeed? Why can't I move up? Why is that person or that person or that person elevating so quickly and I can't? And they started lower than I did, maybe. And this is why you have no spiritual backing. You have no spiritual backing. You have no support. You understand? You have no spiritual support. So all you're relying on is your own understanding and your own support. Well, if you're at a low place anyway, how how can your support be worthwhile? You understand? And how can those that are on your level and that level be of support except for, oh, good job, or we love you, or this or that, or we care about you, and base their opinions according to anything you want to hear. Anything you want to hear, it sounds good. Okay. So rather than making up your own mind, you can't make up your own mind because your mind has weakened to a point where it's at a base level and it stays there. It stays there. That's the level. Everything you choose, all ideas, all imagination is at they're very low peaks, and they got to stay on that level because of that lack of belief. And you won't even try it because your mind refuses to see it. Your mind refuses the fact that it can be real. It's not real. They got to be crazy. They don't know what they're talking about. Then why is it when I say things that are coming about or that are happening, and I'm nowhere near, and I know these things? Well, he doesn't really know that. He doesn't really know. So okay, it's a good guess. Okay. Uh, it's just it's kind of funny to me, because you refuse to see that these things exist, but yet a lot of those people are involved in dark matters, going to divinators and practitioners and uh, these witches and these certain dark tarot card readers, and you know and you believe all that. You believe every bit of that. You believe all of it because you want that to be true. See, that's the difference. Your mind wants that to be true, especially if it works for you. You understand? But if they say something against what your agenda, you get mad. Oh, no, that can't be, and you won't accept it. There it is. There's my point. Your mind will not accept it. Your mind does not want to accept it. You have convinced yourself, okay? And it's not that your mind can't do it. All the power is within your mind. You understand? It's within your mind. When it connects with the spirit you have within you, you don't realize that you are more than just this carnal flesh. You don't realize that. You actually believe that you're just a hunk of meat floating around that can walk and talk and see and hear and do all these things and enjoy the lusts of life. And then when the time comes, you're going to die and fall and rot where you lay. You're just going to rot away, and then that's it. Nothing to it. You actually believe that. It's that's a sad thing for me to see and to know that there's people that actually believe that. There's nothing else to you but this realm, this low level realm, and that's a very low level mentality. That's a very low level mentality. And I don't care who doesn't like what I'm saying. It's true. Because when you elevate to certain points, you can see things that are beyond this world. They're beyond this level down here we're talking about. And you can see them and they make sense and they work for you. You know, that's support. It works for you. You know, this in those dark matters, you know, there's a point that comes, you know, who's your main boss? Who's your main boss? Who is your main boss? You know, what do you want to call him? The devil, or is it a special demon, or who is it? You know, or, who is it? And you know, the powers of the moon. You know what? Who is your boss? Who is the one that you support, that you worship? You know, that is your main supporter. You understand? Because if it's on that dark side, that there's only one, and that one there is subject to me, subject to any person of the light, subject to them, subject to us. Do you understand? Subject to us. And if we want to, we can use him against things, but that would turn us dark. So we don't do that. Okay? We don't do that. Instead, we learn. You understand? So I'm willing to sacrifice myself. Now, I'm going to give some secrets away here that some people know. Maybe if they watch this thing, some people know. Hey, that's what he did. That's why he does it. Okay, but I don't care because it doesn't matter. It's like I've said before. It's a secret that can be told, and it remains a secret. You know, it doesn't matter because it can't touch me. You understand that? And it aggravates people. Well, then be aggravated, you know, get a life and change the channel and go on with something. You understand me? But you can't because your mind, it revels in this stuff. Your mind has to know, what's he going to say today? What's he going to say today? He might say what we're waiting and hoping he'll say, you know, but then again, I might say something that you don't want me to say. And there's a lot of things that I know that you don't want me to say. And the time's coming where I'm going to say them anyway. Okay? I'm going to say them anyway. It's just not time yet. All right? Because you don't believe in them anyway. So what does it matter? What does it matter what I say? This is the interesting part. Why does it matter so much what I say if you don't believe in what I say? It's kind of I don't know. I call it a snake biting its own ass. You know what I mean? It's a merry-go-round there in your own mind, you know, and it's a contradicting thing. But that's the darkness for you. It's you know, it eventually bites its own self, you know, and it goes against itself. That's why I'm saying your main boss is working against you, and you don't even realize it. You don't even realize it, you know, because there's such a point when you're attacking and they're attacking people that working in the light. How just if, the biggest word in the English language, if it's true that God is real, because you say the devil is real, he must be, because you're worshiping him and you're working the light. When you're working the dark, you're working the darkness, so you must believe it's real. But you don't believe in the light. It's not, none of that's real, because your mind won't let you. Your mind only sees the darkness. There can't be one without the other. It's a contrast. But if that's the case, and God is real, then you must believe who God is, or the ultimate, or the source. Do you understand? You must believe it. And if you do, then you must believe what the source is. It's above all. That includes your little teeny weeny boss, okay? Which makes you all bosses, and you think you're bosses. You're bosses. Well, why are you having such a difficult time if you're bosses? If you're the hustler, you're the player, man. You're the player. Got you convinced. You're the player. You can do it. You're the player. Why is it struggling? Why are you struggling so hard, man? Why are you struggling so hard? You know, you got to attack people. You got to rob and steal, because nothing comes from your own hands. You can't create. You're not creating. And each one of us is a creator. But you can't, because your level of thought and your level of function is at a very low level. Your peaks are short. You understand? So you can't see beyond that peak. You can't see beyond that. You understand? Your vision is short. Your vision is short. Things are happening to your body. You're getting this, and you're picking up diseases, or this or that, or things ain't working out right. Things aren't working out right. You can't make the money. You can't this, you can't that. So we're going to attack these people, or that guy over there, or that person over there, and rob and steal. Let's hustle them. Let's hustle them out. Let's hustle it out. We got game. We got game. You ain't got no game. That game's weak. That game's weak. It's all known. That game is all known. You understand? You got to get a very, very vulnerable person, an innocent person like that, for that to happen. And that is going against you. It's working against you. So back to the fact that the Almighty, the source of all, the power above all powers, is not liking what you're doing. And you think it's going to be allowed? You think it's going to be allowed? And even the dark spirits you're working with are going to work against you. They're going to work against you. There is a story, biblical, here we go with it, but it's just a story of, to you, it don't mean anything, so don't worry about it. You know what I mean? But there's a story of the greatest king that was ever, and that's Solomon, okay? He was the son of David. You understand? He was asked, and he was given, like a genie, what you guys believe in, all of that crap. Okay, so let's look at it that way. Like a genie, he asked the Lord, the Lord told him he could have, what would he want? What does he want? Above all things. And Solomon said, I want wisdom. Wisdom is what I want, above all things. And he was given that. He was given that wisdom, that power of wisdom. Okay? That wisdom entailed many, many things, many areas, all covered, all angles of life, because he was able to summon, demons and work for him. And you know how that was? Because once they will offer, you have offerings. You want this, you want that, you want this, you want that. No. He said, no, I don't want any of that. I don't want any of that. What I want to know is how you did this, how you did that, what you did over here, what you did over there, why this is happening to that person, or why this is happening to those people. I want to know those things. Why and how are you doing those things? And what are the results? And what is your agenda? And what are you looking at? All these questions. That's what he wanted to know. Answers to questions. Now, if you're paying attention, this is going to give you some insight on what people know that you think they don't know and how they receive the information. Because these demons themselves, your friends, your buddies that you believe in that are working with you to do all these stupid things, they're the ones giving the information. Why? Because people have risen, certain people, hello, have risen to such an elevation and frequency that they are powerful enough to summon these demons, and they have to answer. They have to answer. They have to answer. You understand? There is no dodging it. Why? Because the light serves all the power to do so. And it's the power over darkness. Period. The end. Period. The end. You cannot show me where the light is weaker than darkness. Ever. Ever. Show me that. You know? Let me light a candle in a dark room and let that you bring as much darkness as you can to overshine that light or eliminate that light. And you can't do it. A little bitty flame. You cannot do it. A little bitty light.